Hi yogis, and welcome to today's practice. This is a post-workout recovery flow. And so this is perfect for after a workout, whether it's a run or any other complementary workout that you're doing. Or if you're already feeling sore from your workout yesterday or earlier today, or even a couple days ago, this flow is going to help you to sort of soothe your muscles, find a little bit of release from all of that soreness that you might be experiencing. So let's get started. You won't need any props for this. This is, again, just a real gentle flow, post-recovery and post-workout flow. So come to a nice seated position. You can have your hands on your thighs or on your knees, whatever feels good, palms down or palms up. And then you can gently close your eyes or just soften your gaze, cast your gaze down. And we'll just take a few minutes to get focused on our breathing. And so when we're feeling sore, some good deep breaths can help us to bring some much needed oxygen to our muscles and to our body. And so sitting here and beginning to inhale and exhale deeply through the nose. And really drawing that breath out as long as possible. So with each inhale, bringing in as much air as you possibly can, filling your lungs up, and then exhaling deeply, letting all of that air out, every last drop. And so inhaling deeply, exhale deeply. One more time. Perfect. Gently open the eyes if you had them closed. Cast your gaze up and let's get ready to flow. So bringing our soles of our feet together, and we'll come into butterfly and we'll find some length in our spine. If you have a blanket or if you want to find a little bit more height here, you can put a blanket underneath your seat. Hands are on your toes, on your feet. Knees are gently going down. And this might be enough for you today, and that's fine. You can stay right here if you need to. Or you can inhale, lengthen through the spine, and then begin to hinge as you exhale. So hinging at the hips, leading with the chest coming forward. And again, staying here if it feels good, or if you want to go one step further, rounding the back, rounding the shoulders, tucking the chin in, and finding a little bit of a different stretch here. And you might do a little bit of both. You might stay long and strong with your back straight and your chest shining forward for a little bit, and then come to rounding the back, finding whatever variation. We'll hold these stretches today for a little bit of time, just to give our body a chance to find that release in these poses. Always connecting with that breath, always breathing. And generally in yoga, we find length on our inhales and then exhale and we release and find a little bit more space in our poses. So you can experiment with that, not just in this pose now, but throughout our practice today. When you're ready, inhale, rise up, release your feet, and gently draw your knees into your chest. And then we'll come onto our hands and knees. So planting the hands under the shoulders, knees are under the hips, knees are hip distance apart. And you can either have the feet tucked with the toes tucked, or you can bring the tops of the feet onto the mat. That's really a preference, whatever feels good for you. Especially if you have some ankle issues, you might find that stretching them out feels a little bit uncomfortable. And as you're ready, we're going to move through some cat-cow. So dropping the belly, lifting the chest, lifting the chin. Exhale, rounding the back, tucking the chin in, coming into cat pose. Dropping the belly, chest shines forward, gaze comes up. Exhale, round the back, chin comes in. And then just keep moving at your own pace here. So moving with your own breath between cat and cow. And you can even find a little more movement if you want. You can circle around a little bit as you move through. Maybe finding some sticky points. And just really getting into all of those spots. And maybe you're like, I do not want to circle my hips. I am too stiff, and then that is fine too. You can just stay with the cat-cow. Finding length and stretching in the back body. Coming back to a neutral spine. And when you're ready, extending the left leg out, pushing through the heel, keep the core tight. We're only here for a minute. And then inhaling the knee between the hands, coming into a low lunge. So you can stay here with your hands planted, or for a little bit more stretch in the hips, or a little bit more oomph, so to speak, you can rise up. Bring your hands to your chest. If you need a little more stability, bringing the forearm onto the thigh and engaging the glute. Finding what feels really good today. Finding that stretch in the hips. And so your right hip is coming forward and your left hip is pushing back. So the hip of your front knee is kind of pulling back while the other pulls forward. And hold here for a moment. And when you're ready, bringing the hands on the inside of the foot, and then you can sort of walk the toes out and keeping the heel in, coming into lizard pose. And now you can really get deep into the hip here. So you can even bring the left hand and sort of push the knee away from you, finding that deep stretch in the legs and in the hips. You can also come down onto your forearms. That's another variation that can feel really good, can really get into those sore muscles, help with our recovery, our post-workout recovery. When you're ready, you can rise up onto the hands and then just bring the left leg out, back down and back. And then just do some hip circles here. First, you can go in one direction and then in the other, and these circles can be as big or as little as it feels good. Coming back to all fours with our neutral spine, our right leg pushes back, pushing through the heel. We're only here for a moment. And then the right foot steps forward between the hands, top of the foot, of the back foot on the mat, and stay here, or slowly you can rise up, coming into this low lunge. So hands to the heart. You can have your hands on your hips, or even hands up ahead. Again, right hip is pulling back, left hip is coming forward, finding that stretch. Engaging the glutes to help you with balance. So if you're feeling wobbly, engaging the glutes will always help you in this when you're in here in this position. And when you're ready, bringing the hands to the inside of the front foot, toes point out, heel is in, coming into our lizard pose. Again, playing around with these variations. So maybe we're down on our forearms. Maybe we're here on our hands. If you have some strain in your wrists, you can also come up onto your fists here. That's also another way to find a little bit of relief in the wrists. You can also push that right knee out, really get into the hip here. Again, find the variation that feels good. When you're ready, plant the hands, bring the right knee back to meet the left, so you're in an all fours position. And then press back into child's pose. So fingertips reaching forward. And spreading the shoulder blades apart, finding some space in the shoulders. Fingertips walk over to the right hand side, reaching through the left hand, pressing down through the left glute, finding a really deep stretch in the side. Walking your fingers back to center, and then over to the left. And then right fingertips really reach and stretch as you press the right glute down. So you have this opposing forces working to really find length in the side body. Walking the hands forward, back to center. And when you're ready, coming up onto all fours, tucking the toes, grounding down through the hands, we'll come into a downward facing dog. So this is our first downward dog of the day. So keeping a generous bend in the knees, pedaling out the feet, finding that length in our spine. And when you're ready, right foot steps forward, left foot pivots 45 degrees, and then we'll rise up, coming up into warrior one. Hips are pointing towards the front of the mat. Hands can be at heart center, or on our hips, or all the way up. Grounding down through the pinky edge of the back foot, watching the alignment of our knee, making sure that it's not past the ankle. And when you're ready, opening up into warrior two. So back foot pivots, so the pinky edge is along the back edge of your mat, parallel. Reaching through the fingertips, finding length and strength here. Bringing your hands onto your hips, straightening your front leg, pivoting the toes so that they're facing the long edge of your mat. And then inhale, opening up through the chest, and exhale, hinging at the hips, coming into a forward fold. Perfect. And then you can even sort of sway side to side here. You can grab opposite elbows and really just let gravity do the work for you here. You might find that you need to have a little bit more of a generous bend in your knees, and that's okay too. That bend actually protects your back. It's a good thing. You don't have to have straight legs here. Just find what feels really good. Perfect. Planting your hands back onto the mat. We'll inhale, coming into a halfway lift, so flat back, crown of the head is pointing forward, and then exhale, forward fold. Bring your hands to your hips, rise up. Perfect. And then step to the top of your mat. Okay, I'm going to switch sides, but you stay where you are. And then stepping the right foot back, we'll come into warrior one. So right foot back, left foot forward. Hips are facing the front of your mat. Arms up. Reaching up through the hands, through the fingertips, pressing down through all four corners of the feet. Opening up, warrior two. Reaching through the fingertips. So finding that length in the torso, reaching out through the fingertips and grounding down through the feet. So we have there's all this opposition, and we find a really great stretch here. When you're ready, bring your hands to your hips, straighten the front leg, and then pivot the toes to the long edge of the mat. And again, we'll inhale, opening up through the chest. Exhale, forward fold. Placing the left hand just below the face, and then inhale, lifting the right arm up as you twist, trying to keep the hips level. They might try to sort of jut and turn, so don't turn with your hips, turn with your torso. Exhale the right arm down. Place the right hand under the face, left hand rises up. Again, finding that twist in the torso, keeping a micro bend in the knee. Don't forget about your legs. Exhaling the hands down. Bringing your hands to your hips. Inhale, rise up. Perfect. And then stepping to the front of your mat. And feet are about as wide as your mat. Heels are in. Come a little closer here. Heels are in, toes are pointing out. We're going to lower down into a yogi squat. So coming down slowly, slowly, any amount that feels good. And maybe you make it all the way down. You might also find having a block or a pillow under your seat will help you to find that length. And pushing the knees out with the elbows. Hands are at heart center. Taking a deep breath. And then releasing the hands and slowly dropping onto your seat. Perfect. And we'll come back onto hands and knees. And we'll just do a little thread the needle. So finding our posture here with our wrists under our shoulders. And when we're ready, inhaling the right arm up. And exhale, thread the needle all the way through, bringing the temple to the mat. And then you can keep your hands here, or you can walk your fingertips forward, or you can bring your left hand onto your back. Feeling this really awesome shoulder stretch. Let's take one more breath here. Planting the left hand down. Inhaling, right arm rises. Exhale, bringing it back onto the mat. And we'll do the same thing. Thread the needle on the other side. Inhale, left arm comes up. Exhale, bringing the left hand through the right. Inviting the left temple onto the mat. And then choosing the variation of the right hand that works for you. Maybe it stays where it is. Maybe it walks forward. Maybe it comes onto the back. Enjoying this stretch. Bringing the right hand onto the mat, planting it deeply, then pressing up. Inhaling the left arm up. Exhale, bringing it back onto the mat. And then just slowly lowering down onto your seat. Bringing the legs in front of you. And then we'll slowly lower onto our back. So one vertebrae at a time. Really, really gentle as we lower down. Keeping the soles of the feet onto the mat. And we'll inhale, right leg rises. And you can grab your right leg either behind the thigh or the shin or even the toe. Feeling a good hamstring stretch here. And we're just going to stay here for a beat. Relax the shoulders, relax the jaw. And then cross the right ankle over the left knee. Foot is flexed, coming into figure 4. Hugging in the left foot. Maybe even rocking side to side. Release the left foot down. Release the right foot onto the mat. Inhale, left leg comes up. Finding that hamstring stretch again. You can even have a bend in the knee here. It doesn't have to be straight. It doesn't have to look any certain way. It's all about how it feels in your body. Left leg, left ankle crosses over the right knee, coming into figure 4. Hugging in the right leg. Again, maybe rocking from side to side. Releasing both legs and extending the legs out. Extending the arms out. Palms facing up as we come into our final posture of rest and relaxation. Allowing our breath to return to normal. And just relaxing all the muscles of our body. So relaxing the space between the eyebrows, relaxing the cheeks, the jaw, relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the arms, the fingers, the belly, the hips, relaxing your legs, toes, sinking into the floor, giving yourself these few minutes today to allow your body to rest. Stay here as long as you like. When you're ready, begin to move your fingers and toes, inviting movement back into your body. Slowly roll onto one side. Rest here for just a moment. Keep your eyes closed. Push yourself up to seated. Bring your hands to your heart. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope that your muscles will feel better. I hope that this is an opportunity for you to recover from any other workouts you've been doing. Namaste.